Hi, welcome to this week's tip, Roll with Safety. My name is Chad Hymas. We're talking about confined space. Confined space does not necessarily mean a small enclosed space. It could be a rather large space, such as a ship's hold, or a fuel tank, or a pit, or a garage. One of the first defining features of a confined space is it's large enough to allow an employee to enter and or exit or perform work. The second defining feature is it has limited means of entry or exit. Entry may be obtained through small or large openings, and usually there is only one way in and out. The third defining feature of a confined space is that they are not used for continuous or routine work. Permits are not all confined spaces and categorized as such. Two main groups are non-permit and permit-required work. Confined spaces must have signs posted outside stating that the entry requires a permit. In general, these spaces contain serious health and safety threats, including the following: oxygen deficiency, flammable equipment, flammable atmospheres, toxic gases, mechanical or physical hazards, loose materials that are in the area. These are some of the reasons confined spaces are hazards. Lack of adequate ventilation can cause the atmosphere to become life-threatening. Number two, the oxygen content of the air can drop below the level of that which sustains life. Number three, sometimes a confined space is deliberately filled with nitrogen as a fire prevention. Nitrogen cannot sustain human life, so you must use respiratory equipment to protect yourself. Number four, many gases are explosive and can be set off by a spark. And finally, number five, even dust is an explosion hazard in a confined space. Finally, ground materials such as grain, fibers, and plastics can explode upon ignition. I guess to make this personal, and in order for you to understand how you and I can avoid incidents as it pertains to confined spaces, is that you and I need to be aware of such areas. We need to make sure that our signage is up. We need to make sure that everybody around us is aware of confined spaces. And when you see somebody in confined space, rather than walk right on by, be willing to approach that individual and let them know in an appropriate manner how and why they're in a confined space and what they can do differently to get themselves free from that area. Also be looking out for yourself. You can't take care of others in a confined space unless you take care of yourself first. Until next week, remember to roll with safety. My name's Chad Hymas.